Hello everybody and welcome back to HeflaTV's presentation of the Mineski Pro Gaming League season number 6, the Southeast Asian qualifier of course for it. It's game number 2 between MSI-EvoGT Trick and Gse7en. Game number 1 was a semi-throw I guess from Gse7en and just really good resilience overall by MSI, turning this game around. They were sitting around 10 to 12k deficit in both XP as well as gold, and we can already see Gse7en. They've adjusted their draft a little bit already to begin with, banning out that death prophet of course. Whereas MSI taking out a Meepo, as Gse7en they used it so well against the Wake in game number 1. Razor the secondary ban and Gse7en taking out the Lycan, so they do not want to face that strong push anymore at all. But my name is Culture and I am once again joined by Whiplash.
Hello once again everybody, thanks for tuning in. So, down to our final match of the night, I believe, Couchshore, unless, well, it's the night time for me now. I'm running around the same schedule as the Southeast Asians team, so hitting around midnight for us. I guess for you, though, it's still only, mid-afternoon, starting to hit the evening, so maybe if you're crazy, you'll do more Dota casting later in the day, but this looks to be about the last match for me to cast tonight, so let's make it a good one. We've been watching a lot of these guys play throughout the day. Lots of good matches, lots of unconventional picks. Gse7en, give us a good final match. I want to see you guys pull out some crazy strategies. I know we won't be seeing the Meepo that's already been banned out by MSI, but who knows, there's still a lot of other crazy heroes that can be picked up.
Yeah, there most certainly are. Gse7en, they started with some push of their own Shadow Shaman, but facing the Faceless Void, oh man, Gse7en, do they pick up a Skywrath Mage now, mostly to deny it to MSI? And of course overall, Mystic Flare is a good thing, but then again Gse7en, the last game, the Skywrath Mage really didn't have too much effect on the game at all.
Yeah, the Skywrath was actually like very it didn't really matter. It was just kind of, it tried to do his ultimates, but anytime they actually hit people at BKBs, and I wasn't really feeling it that game from the Skywrath. If you want to use that hero, I think you need to be very aggressive early on with him, and go for a lot of ganks. There still is the Faceless Void combo that we did not have last game, so at the very least, this is a potent combination that has proven to work more consistently over time. Gse7en, they have a tanky hero with the Viper as well as a very strong mid laner. The Shadow Shaman, we already know what he does, man. He kills towers, he can be really annoying, but he's also made of paper.
That is definitely the case. I mean, once you get caught, you are just completely 100% done for. And MSI, they get that so-called famous combination of the Faceless Void Skywrath Mage. Just easiest setup for the Mystic Flare you can really ask for the Chronosphere. Viper at least is rather tanky, he has some increased magic resistance as well. Although, if he gets caught in the Chrono, he still probably won't have enough survivability, at least not in the earlier stages of the game, when the Faceless Void and the Skywrath has just hit that level 6 mark. But MSI also taking out the Tidehunter now, a hero that Gse7en did favor in their game number 2 versus Awake. And of course, overall a really strong offlaner in that as well, especially should it be like a Faceless Void versus Tidehunter if one team wants to go aggressive tri-lane. But we will see what's gonna come next. Ancient Apparition, of course, was taken out by Gse7en. You don't want to just have Ice Blasts into Chronospheres.
That's true. I still want to see some powerful offlaners. Like, I want to see my Bristleback. I want to see my Centaur. Give me something here. That's what I want to see. A tanky offlaner. Even, I'd be happy with a Timbersaw if it was picked up. I don't think it really synergizes too well with MSI, but, Gse7en, I know he's fallen out of favor, but he can make short work with Skywrath if he doesn't get silenced. If he gets silenced, it's kind of game over. Well, we will see the Brewmaster banned out by MSI, so removing another strong potential offlaner, although a very versatile hero as far as laning is concerned, be removed from the pool. Now down to Gse7en's final ban from phase 2 of the banning phase. We'll see what they want to get out of the pool.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, you spoke of the Timber, so it wouldn't be too bad, I think, for MSI. You can still just chakram into the Chronosphere, I guess. Hope for the best. And oh, Gse7en, target banning the Witch Doctor, man, giving the hero the respect, at least when it could be paired with the Faceless Void, and they go for his Sven. So Gse7en, they're doing exactly what got them some success against the Wake, going for some slightly different drafts.
I like it, man. This is a hero that we really do not see too often. He did get a bit of a buff in the last patch, but still hasn't seen too much use. He's a hero that, like, you need to get a few items on him to get really powerful, and before then, he's actually, like, not as tanky as you think he is. He is still somewhat, ironically, of a glass cannon, I feel, in a lot of situations. And with MSI picking up the Earthshaker, that will be a very great zoning tool against a hero like Gse7en. That, I mean, if you can't get in someone's face and smack them, then, you know, you are kind of useless, I suppose. And also can set up some good, I suppose, team fights with the Faceless Void. And Gse7en, they follow up the Gse7en with the Chen pick as well. This worked, I believe, pretty well for them in one of their games. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think Gse7en picked up the Chen, or it could have been an MSI, man.
MSI
I'm getting all these
picked it
teams
against
mixed
the Wake,
up.
that is for sure. And I think Awake picked it against MSI, but still lost. So MSI, they completely snowballed the game they had the Chen, I think.
Tinker.
Oh man, we're gonna see the anti-fun hero, the Tinker. No pushing from Gse7en.
And I remember when Anti-Mage was the anti-fun hero, but nowadays, you're right, Coucher, it does feel like the Tinker is the kind of the king of that role in this situation. Well, this will, at the very least, give Faceless Void a lot of time to find some farm. This could actually still be an offlane Faceless Void. It's not entirely clear with MSI's lineup where they want to put this hero. That being said, it's still pretty darn versatile. They ban out the Nature's Prophet, and Elder Titan banned out by Gse7en, so it looks like they want to, or they assume that this Faceless Void will be in the safe lane.
And actually, I mean, the Juggernaut, I have seen it once against the Tinker as well in a similar lineup. It worked out just wonders for them. First of all, they went for an aggressive tri-lane, which probably won't be the case here, of course. But Juggernaut, just having the healing ward, it negates so much of what the March of the Machines can do. Unless, of course, MSI pick up something now that can kind of safely go and kill the healing ward. Somebody maybe with illusions.
Yeah, I'm looking at Gse7en's lineup, and it actually makes a lot of sense. They definitely want to do a lot of early pushing based on their lineup, and one of the biggest problems I talked about with Gse7en early on, which is just he's not as you know, tanky as you think he is. The Chen with his ultimate using that Hand of God, and Juggernaut with the healing ward. That's going to give their team an insane amount of sustainability when it comes to these team fights. And looking at MSI, they're all about the burst. You survive that, you'll simply win the team fight.
Yeah, and man, it's still gonna be hard for Gse7en. I mean, playing against Tinker is always hard, as well as versus a Faceless Void, of course. I mean, this Sven, he just needs to become huge, and in this game, might even have to just go for a Blink Dagger. They really need some way to just get the jump on Tinker, because at the moment, I mean, Blink Initiation wise, they might have the Shadow Shaman. Juggernauts go for Blink Daggers as well, a little bit later on, maybe Aghanims first or Desolator as well. And MSI picking up a Mirana as the last one for themselves, getting the Moonlight Shadows as well into action, as if Gse7en might not even have a hard enough time already to get kills.
So this Juggernaut, I'm wondering how Gse7en will end up laning this. There's a lot of different things they can do. It's certainly pretty darn unconventional. This may even be that, but just looking at the items quickly, we do have Gse7en picking up the Sentry Ward and a Smoke, so this may actually be a support Gse7en. That's what it's looking like.
Oh, and a farming Shadow Shaman there, or what?
No, he has wards on him too. This is quite odd. Maybe they just... Well, no, he picked up the wards on Smoke.
I sure as hell hope it's not a farming Chen.
Maybe. I don't know, man. This is a little weird coming out from Gse7en.
I think it just has the sentries to, I don't know, deal with whatever.
But look at the rest of his items, man. He's picked up Ward, Smoke, Tango, 2 Clarities, and 2 Branches. That's it.
And Shadow Shaman also has wards, a Smoke. I have no idea what's going on here. This is just some next level things going on. I mean, I bet they're just trolling with us. It has to be the Sven farming, doesn't it? Maybe Shadow Shaman, but not Chen.
Who's going to the off lane? Are they dual laning this? What are they doing?
5-man
I have
top
no
man,
idea.
go.
Who knows? I mean, crazier things have happened, but
not too many.
yeah. There's one game in the KBL Season 1 that comes to mind where there's one team, they went to Roshan, they got him, and literally just pushed towers down until they won the game. The game was over in less than 15 minutes. It was over in like 12. But I don't think that's happening. A lot of very aggressive roaming in the top lane. The Chen, the Shadow Shaman, the Gse7en, 2 smokes between the 3 of them, as well as boots on the Chen. I have no idea what's going on. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh man, this is definitely pretty damn interesting. Maybe they want to set up early kills in mid lane, but oh, never mind, Blade Fury. No slow will affect him, but bottom lane, Show, he has to be careful on the Viper. And they're really like free manning enemy jungle. What?
Both teams are actually kind of doing the same thing, except the gank towards the mid lane may come first. We'll see if they use the smoke also. Bottom lane, Viper. Looks like he should give up the first blood. It's going to be very hard. Yeah, with the fissure, easy arrow,
mid lane,
first blood.
Stormhammer connects. They don't have the Blade Fury shackles though. With the Satyr, Hadouken comes out. So, a 1-for-1. Gse7en just a little bit late in utilizing their gank to just get the first blood.
That's, yeah, a little bit too late for them. Tinker already back into the mid lane. He will have his bottle delayed by a good amount due to that death, so I'm sure not entirely happy about that. Meanwhile, we still have just the weirdest laning situations happening from Gse7en. They're sending Viper to the off lane now, and Gse7en, he's been caught out by the Skywrath Mage, slowing him down with the concussive shot, throwing out a few arcane bolts. There's a fissure as well, but they're lacking the lockdown they need to really finish someone off. And actually now, you see the Stormbolt go out, hit the Skywrath, but Gse7en, he's got to be careful here. There is a fissure in 1 second. We're going to see a return kill, most likely here. No, Gse7en, he's staying alive. Unholy Aura, and actually turning it around. What is he doing, man? He is juking and jiving.
Staying alive. Man, that 3-for-1 all of a sudden. I mean, Gse7en XP wise, finally Viper makes it to the top lane. Otherwise, Faceless Void was just solo there. So Gse7en lost quite a lot of XP because they just went for the bigger rotations, so to say. Chen farming up bottom lane in the meantime, man. But at least kill wise, Gse7en hanging on, Sven just barely making it out. And well, if Gse7en can just continue keep up with this, they might do rather well even, but it's still gonna be hard, I think, just based on their lineup.
Yeah, it's just such a weird lineup. I think maybe even too weird, man. I'm not a huge fan of it, looking at it at this point, but I mean, if they just keep getting kills left and right and start pushing down towers, what's there to really stop them? No one's going to be online from MSI, really. I guess that, once everyone hits level 6, they can be somewhat useful, but Tinker still needs a good amount of farm before he can really accomplish anything. He's at least picked up some boots, but still lacking a bottle at this point, so he needs a little bit more farm to get that item underway. Meanwhile, Juggernaut, looking overall, he is doing... he's pretty much even with the Tinker as far as last hits are concerned, but the Faceless Void is the one who's really getting some decent farm up in this top lane, even though there's a Viper he has to worry about.
Yeah, but mid lane, there is a smoke coming out from Gse7en. Can they get yet another kill?
Oh, very nice Blade Fury from the Juggernaut, and it's enough. They get the kill. Very well executed. So now 4-1. They're really shutting down the Stinker very efficiently. He still lacks that bottle. And it's just, MSI supports are in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, actually Kenji, his man fighting the Mirana at the moment, forces the leap out as well, has the Alpha Wolf for the extra right click damage. And it, so far at least, has been a Chen who has just farmed up on the lane most of the time. Shadow Shaman Sven rotating around. I have no idea if they've actually tested this before or they're going full YOLO mode here, but I mean, for their sake, I hope it works out, but at the moment, I mean, kill wise, yes. The Sven as well as Shadow Shaman are been rotating around nicely, but can he get the haste?
I think he's forced to use it up. And actually, no, it was killed off by ranged attack, I believe. So no haste for anybody.
And now, Linger gets caught.
Here comes the Shadow Shaman.
Wow.
But he actually died. They're putting down March of the Machines, actually. Really doing a good job at zoning out. Oh, nice double fissure. This is one dead Shadow Shaman. The laser to finish the job. So MSI striking back, doing a pretty good job. I really like the use of the martial machines there as well, just kind of forcing Gse7en back, giving them really no other options but to retreat, and then a well-placed fissure as well. The Earthshaker plays we've seen from these teams throughout today have been damn impressive.
Oh man, this game is just so weird and awkward. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a lane farming Chen, because I mean, if they would have another jungler, I actually wouldn't mind it all that much, but it's just unutilized farm on the map here.
I mean, he needs to be in the jungle anyway to get some creeps, so that's another weird thing about it. It's just something you
Top
don't
lane,
see.
they get the stun though. BYB might go down the fissures.
Oh!
Gets the time walk. 2 HP after the poison damage.
Oh my gosh, so close.
Earthshaker,
But once
man,
again,
for the win.
Earthshaker, dude, like, I think he's quickly becoming a hero that I just do not want to play against. He can be really frustrating to deal with. I mean, the time on the fissure, it creates a wall, man. You can't get through it unless you're Batrider.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, and that's of course one of the reasons why Earthshaker is so damn popular at the moment as well. I do believe a couple of patches ago he got nerfed with the duration of his fissure, and then it got buffed back again or reverted.
I know that the fissure range was buffed to 1,400, I think from 1,002 or 1,300, something like that. But it definitely got a slight buff in that area. And looking at the Earthshaker as well as the Faceless Void, they're so close. Level 3 and level 6 respectively, they get it. There's the Moonlight Shadow as well. They will take out the Skywrath Mage, but look at that. Is that a 4-man chrono? I believe it is. We will not. Can we see Hand of God? No! It's not there in time. They'll get the Shackles on Mirana. And there is a return trade. Nice stun from the Gse7en. It's actually looking to be in Gse7en's favor. 3 for 2. Overall looking pretty darn strong. They get it, man. They don't get the Hand of God off. But it still seems to be a decent trade regardless.
Yeah, man, they just didn't have any damage into the Chrono. It got 4 people, right? Man, Starstorm would have been excellent, but Mirana, he TP'd in. He already used Moonlight Shadow before and actually lacked mana for the Starstorm. Maybe with that would have gotten at least 1 extra kill there, of course. He also TP'd into the Chrono. He started the TP before the Chrono though, so nothing he could have done about it. Tinker wasn't there, was stacking up Ancients. Only has 2 points into March of the Machines. 2 into Laser as well. Well, 2 into Laser is common, I guess, but can't really farm up the Ancients quite yet. So they were lacking the damage input. Skywrath Mage only level 4 as well. And, well, Gse7en, they're not doing half that bad at the moment.
Uh-oh. Shadow Shaman is pretty much dead. He'll get hit with Fissure, Arrow, out of the picture.
Well, it's 8-6. Looking at the graphs early on as well, Gse7en actually have almost a 2k gold lead, XP around 300 in their favor as well. So somehow hanging on. Juggernaut getting a pretty decent amount of farm actually. Highest last hitter as well as 3, 0 and 3 KDA. So looking good. Tinker gets his Soul Ring, so pretty far from his Boots of Travel still. And Gse7en, do you think they actually might even go try to contest the Ancients?
Well, they first have to take out this tower, I feel. If they do that, they can. Everybody's heading towards the bottom lane for Gse7en. Let's see, ultimate-wise, they do have the Viper Strike. Shadow Shaman is level 4, so no wards from him just yet. The Chen does have 2 creeps. We'll see the March of the Machines come out. But hey, that's what the healing ward's for. And the March can't really destroy that, so I think they'll just make their way in here. Fissure, hitting a lot of units actually, but out comes the Stormbolt, we'll see. Follow-up as well, Blade Fury from the Juggernaut is enough though. The Viper Strike slowing down the Earthshake, Hand of God as well. They are diving really hard and they have not gotten any kills so far. They're saying, back up, we need to get this tower. Meanwhile, this entire time Shadow Shaman is in the mid lane. He's fishing for that level 6. It's what he wants. I do not think they'll get this tower. There's a Chrono as well. They'll kill off the Juggernaut. They're going to get the Chen as well. And it's turning into an absolute disaster for Gse7en. They may even end up losing the Viper. He's so low on health. The last hit, it's a double kill for the Mirana. Things are really starting to turn around into MSI's favor, similar to game number 1.
Yeah, and especially how Gse7en have decided to lane this and overall play this game strategically. they were just so reliant on having momentum and never actually lose it. But now MSI, they just completely shit on Gse7, to be honest, in that fight. Gse7, they went so damn deep, but all the time they were running in the march of the machines. Even the healing ward really couldn't keep them up as high as necessary for them. And now Faceless Void even has a Midas on him.
I mean, maybe if they had the Shadow Shaman with them, it would have made somewhat of a difference, but he still needed that level 6. That's why they put him in the mid lane, but we're seeing, I think, the weakness of Gse7, and it's just them being impatient. They're just, if they wait a little bit longer, they can get these objectives that they want. It still looks like they'll get the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. It was heavily damaged from early on in the last engagement, so they finally get that. Tinker will pick up the invisibility rune in the bottom part of the lane, so I guess a little mini victory for the Tinker there, who's still kind of playing catch up. He's up to 37 last hits, 1, 2, and 3 as far as his score is concerned, and this is a pretty damn large creep camp as well that will help him out a lot.
It most certainly will, but now actually slow on to Kenji. There's the Mystic Flare coming out, some time locks to actually get him in place properly. And well, they lose yet another one, and they can't really afford to do so.
Well, Faceless Void's actually getting a few lucky bashes. He takes out the Satyr and will chase away the Centaur as well. So, a little cheeky plays there. Centaur actually running at the Skywrath, scaring him away. The wards will go down in the mid lane, so this should be a tower that will die on MSI's side. It doesn't look like they want to waste that fortification, and the glyph remains.
Yeah, and actually just now with the last Ancient, Tinker got enough gold for his Boots of Travels as well. So now on, he can actually start joining the fights on a moment's notice almost. Make good use of the Chronos here on the Faceless Void. He's about to hit level 10, so not quite a level 2 one yet, but still. Looking good for MSI. Look at the graphs again. Gold lead 500 for Gse7, of course. They are ahead with actually by 2 towers, 3 towers I mean. And XP, well, 4.5 for MSI, and just having the XP advantage on such a lineup as well. Tinker, Faceless Void, I mean even the Skywrath Mage, just still, I think they can turtle for ever and ever almost. Arguably have the better late game as well with the way Gse7 has decided to just distribute their farm. So man, I'm hoping kind of the Gse7 will prove me wrong, but I don't have high hopes for them in this game anymore.
I don't either. They're a team that they needed to strike fast, strike hard early on. MSI in the later stages, they have a Faceless Void. They have a Tinker. Mirana is 5-1 this game, so she'll start to get a few good items pretty soon as well. And not to mention, Earthshaker's good at basically every stage of the game. Skywrath does fall off a little later.
Chasing Viper. Oh, one guy leaves them, man. Tinker's like, nope, screw it, guys. He's gone.
He's okay.
But it's just scary stuff. MSI just, they were completely like an angry mob chasing him down.
Oh, Viper looks to be building into a Blacking Bar. Uh-oh. This is Void's going to go ahead and catch him. He uses his ultimate, and then in comes Skywrath's ultimate as well. They threw a lot of damage on the Viper. He does fall, but it took everything they had, essentially, in order to finish him off, and this is Void. He actually just time walks to the high ground, TP's away, so he'll be A-OK, safe from the Juggernaut and that ultimate. But now, well, Gse7 are kind of in position to push down the mid lane. They do have the important ultimates available. Viper will be back in about 5 seconds. He can TP. The only thing they have to worry about is the March of the Machines.
Oh, they popped the drum, Juggernaut. He wants to go balls deep, but silenced up. Oh, man.
Uh-oh. Well, this Earthshaker actually... okay, that was a little awkward from him. I don't think he realized there's a Sentry Ward nearby, but that means Earthshaker, he actually didn't really accomplish anything in the fight. Still, they defend the tower. They get all of the wards as well, which is actually a solid amount of gold. That's almost a full creep per Sentry Ward if you think about it like that. Yeah. Or per Serpent Ward.
Yeah, it is almost 300 gold, or around 300 gold average for the 10 wards altogether. And of course Shenrui, he got himself the tier 1 tower top lane as well. So definitely coming out ahead there. At least MSI, they gave a free 1 in return to Gse7 after killing off the Juggernaut like that. And man, I got to hand it to him. This Juggernaut has balls how he charged at them.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be G7's style, man. They are just full-on, balls to the walls, aggressive. The Meepo fits their playstyle perfectly, and they need heroes like Meepo and Tusk in their lineup. This one, however, it is very aggressive across the board, but they have to strike at the right times, and we haven't necessarily seen that completely from them, especially that big fight in the bottom lane where they just kind of gave away their lead and definitely put the game way into MSI's advantage.
Yeah, it's... I mean, Gse7en, what do you think they can actually do now to just try to stage a semi-comeback of sorts? Should they just, on cooldown with Mass Serpent wards, try to tick down towers? Not commit too much, but just slowly whittle the towers down using the wards?
I would like them to see the really focus on these towers, and if they can somehow get like a Smoke Ink, the Tinker man, he's so elusive, so hard to pick off. If they can just grab him, if they can catch him, they can take the towers, they can take the team fights. But as long as he's up, then, I mean, it's just still really a pain in the butt to deal with him. Even with the Hand of God, even with the Healing Ward from Juggernaut, which is already up to level 3, so they really want to max that thing out.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely rather would have the Healing Ward maxed than just have the crit on Juggernaut, because he doesn't probably even plan to just right-click people down. Omni Slash and Blade Fury, that's all he's gonna go for, I think. Or at least that's all you can really go for, because otherwise March of the Machines, you can't really right-click in that.
There's too much that will prevent him from actually getting in the right-click damage, and whether it be the zoning from Skywrath and his Mystic Flare, whether it's the Chronosphere from Phaseless Void, or the Fissure from the Earthshaker. It's just, there's so much that can zone out G7's lineup, and it's definitely one of the most difficult things that they have to kind of fight against. It's like, alright, we want to push this tower, the enemy team's got a million ways to kind of disrupt us and, you know, kind of get us out of position or force us to back up, split up a little bit more. It's just really annoying to deal with overall.
It certainly is. Maybe if they get enough vision around Roche, they could even sneak that. But if somehow MSI find out that it's going on, suddenly there's a Chronosphere on top of everybody's head at the Roche pit, Mars of the Machines flying, Mystic Flares coming from the sky, Star Storms as well. So it is hard. They can, I mean, looking at the graphs, it's not a huge disaster gold-wise. It's only a 3k difference. XP 7,500 well, a little bit bigger, but they're not completely out, at least.
I think the important thing to take a look at is the net worth chart. We have Faceless Void on top, and okay, well, we're going to have once again, another Chronosphere onto the Viper with the Mystic Flare ultimate. Another easy kill. Actually, Miran is the one who ends up nabbing that last kill there. Now working into a multitude of items with the Mithril Hammer as well as the Gloves of Haste. It looks to be Maelstrom as the next item of choice for the Mirana, giving a little bit more pushing power to her. And I guess the response from G7 is simply the smoke up and look for someone to pick off. Maybe it's the Tinker trying to farm Ancients. Maybe it's the support Earthshaker that's just caught a little bit too far out of position, which does seem to be the case. But oh, very smart. Will it be in time?
Oh,
yes, it
man.
will. Very,
that was
very
just
smart.
Next level. I mean, it wasn't even Spidey senses, I guess, because once they passed this point, I think the smoke broke and the tower saw them. But just such clutch moves, fast reactions as well. Get into a hiding spot, straight out TP. They even use the Moonlight Shadows just to ensure he gets away. So nice team play, and MSI, I mean, they know that they're ahead, but they're not being dicks about it or anything. They're still playing it safe. They know that the Earthshaker, once he gets that blink there, they can actually go and win with their advantage, maybe even.
Oh, triple man Fissure as well as on some of the creeps. Tinker, he'll go ahead, use his March of the Machines, but oh, very nice job. Omni Slash from the Juggernaut. This is big. Maybe this is kind of what they've been looking for, but the Echo Slam as well as an Enchant Totem use to kind of take down the Juggernaut. A 1-for-1 trade, and oh, they're so close to killing the Skywrath. He gets out his ultimate, takes down Mirana. Pretty, well, actually, no, sorry, other way around. He keeps the Mirana alive for a little bit longer. Now, a 2-for-2 trade with the Skywrath as well as the Mirana. Extremely low on health, under 100 health each. Fissure buying a little bit of time, and well, I think that's the best that G7 could have really hoped for in this situation. They get the tower, and it's an even trade.
Yeah, it went actually really well and almost killing Skyra from Mirana as well. And I mean, just how they got the Tinker to begin with. That's the strength of a Juggernaut against Tinker. That's exactly what you can and have to do as well. Straight out Omni the Tinker. This time around there was nobody to help, no mechs coming out, and actually the mech still being worked on the Skyra Mage as well. Faces White couldn't get his ultimate off. When he went in, he just got shackled and locked down completely. So Gse7, they're showing us that they can fight, but now JYC on the Earthshaker will have his Blink Dagger.
Indeed he will. Earthshaker, all of a sudden, the initiation from MSI, it's not just limited to the Moonlight Shadow or the Faceless Void popping in. This Earthshaker can really help set up some big engagements as well. So, with that, smoke in his inventory as well. I wouldn't be surprised if MSI wants to go on the aggressive for once and see if they can pick somebody off. This Mirana is doing a good job at just kind of keeping these lanes pushed out with the Maelstrom, doing a little bit of split pushing action. Shadow Shaman up in the top lane as well, kind of helping out as well, or I guess preventing the split push from coming his way. And we could have a big engagement in the bottom lane. There's the Chronosphere once again. This is the third time that Viper will get hit with this Wombo combo. The Hand of God and the Healing Ward, it's not enough to save him. Everybody from MSI, they're going to try to run away now at this point. They get a nice fissure as well onto the Juggernaut. And it looks like they literally get away with murder.
Yeah, and Sven popped his ultimate there, so he couldn't do anything with it. At least not for the time being, and BYB still hanging around, runs into a creep, wanted to just use his Hand of Midas, he's gonna pay with it. No time walk TP will be a success.
Very nice. Picking that up, also working into an Agnum Scepter, as both the Blade of Clarity and Ogre Club are in his inventory. We could have another engagement here as Gse7, they're on the aggressive, they want to try to push into the tier 2, but they have to worry about the Tinker, spamming that March of the Machine ability. Juggernaut gets hit with a very large arrow as well, and he'll just get finished off before he can do anything. He's stun locked, man. What are you gonna do?
Poked to death, man. There's nothing you can do with him, even if the Fisher, just in case they're with a slow one to linger.
Oh, they put down the wards. It's very nice, helping out a little bit. Earthshaker's ultimate, not really accomplishing too much, but the Fissure, the arrow combination, they get the kill on the Gse7en, and well, they get the Chen as well. Earthshaker's still alive. Now 4 dead, and I think everyone else still gets away. MSI have pretty much taken complete control over the game, and it doesn't look like Gse7en are really getting any breaks at any point in the game.
Yeah, and that was just such a ballsy initiation as well. Mirana completely leaping into the fight like that. Mass Serpent Wards came down, but the Echo Slam was just so disruptive from the Earthshaker, and of course the Enchant Totem follow-ups as well, pretty damn nicely done. And now Tinker has the take on level 1. Arrow not gonna hit anybody, Tinker is there, and I don't think Leo can do anything. He has Omni Slash, can actually maybe even get a solo kill if there are no creeps around.
The Chen creep actually just gets Dagon down before the Tinker teleports away. I think he was trying to use that in conjunction with the Juggernaut to set up a kill. Still, just really wasn't enough. And even though this Tinker got shut down early on, he's been able to kind of play catch-up. He's back on his feet. With that Dagon 1, he can start building into more DPS and, you know, really start becoming a threat to Gse7. Meanwhile, the Faceless Void, still a ways away from getting that Agnum Scepter upgrade. He does have the point booster though in his inventory, so I guess one more item required, about 500 gold, and he will have that available.
It's not the fastest, but of course he went for a Maelstrom before as well to actually have some extra attack speed, some damage as well for himself. And looking at the graphs now, a almost 7,500 gold lead for MSI XP though, nearing 20k. At the moment sitting around, well, 18,000 still. Pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. It's starting to make a big difference, I feel, at this point. The Tinker, man, he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing where he kills creeps and prevents lanes from being pushed into no matter what.
Although Mirana, can he leap away? Yes. Actually, the Mirana has been pretty spot on him, just backing off at the right times all the time. Leaps out when necessary, doesn't really give away too much, and it reflects in the kill score as well. 10, 1, and 4 for her.
Yeah, that's actually really impressive. It looks like she'll be moving into a Lincoln Sphere next, most likely. That's what I would imagine from her. Maybe, I guess Manta style could be possible as well. Actually, yeah, that may happen. But regardless, 5-man smoking coming out from Gse7en. They are looking for somebody, but everybody from MSI. They're right by the tier 2 bottom tower. Gse7en, could they do a bit of a wraparound? It is possible. And ooh, we're going to have a big clash, it seems. The smoke will break. And we do have a Sentry Ward going down as well. Look at that nice preemptive chrono. Actually, it's 3 members, and then out comes the Mystic Flare. Fissure follow-up as well. We'll see the Hand of God, but already 2 dead on Gse7en's side. They're not able to get any damage in. 3 dead. Looking like 4 could come to Arrow. Narrowly misses the Gse7en. He's running away with the Viper. And the Fissure, will it actually catch him? Yes, it will. It blocks him off. This is 1 dead Gse7en. 4 for 0. I don't know, Capshore. This is looking like Gse7en don't really have any options left.
Yeah, I really feel like they must know it themselves as well. They do actually have still 5 of the 6 outer towers alive. So MSI, they haven't been able to push those down. But, I mean, Gse7en, every time they kind of try to go look for a fight, it just completely gets turned around. This time around, it was a beautiful 3-man chrono actually setting it up. And completely disrupting Gse7en's momentum. They're coming into that fight. I actually thought that Earthshaker might just go blink slam completely. But of course they didn't have proper vision at that time, so he just blinked away. Played it smart, and bottom lane, Leo once again faces Shenrui, who just split pushes like a boss on the Mirana.
Yes, the hero's actually pretty darn good at it. Oh, Faceless Void coming in with the Aghanim Scepter completed. That means he's got the chrono every fight that he needs it. So another kill onto the Juggernaut, who is looking pretty damn poor at this point. He wants to build to a Yasha, just has Vladimir's as well as Drums of Endurance as far as, you know, basic items are concerned. Yeah, Gse7en, it just feels like they are starting to grumble at this point, and I don't know, man. I can't see anything that would really bring them back into this game.
Yeah, you really have no idea either. I mean, they don't even have the comeback kind of lineup. They don't have flash farmers or anything, or like an anti-mage, which is with the Battle Fury split pushes all day long, or Naga Siren with the Radiance does the same more or less. So it's really, for casters, usually we shouldn't be pessimistic or anything. We should be like, yeah, they have a chance, but they really don't in this game, unless MSI just completely start throwing as hard as they can.
I mean, they need to repick Tiny and just start tossing people left and right. That's got to be the strategy here if MSI wants the 3-2-2 this game. And oh, there's another chrono. Oh, just the combination of that, the Fissure, you know, the ultimate from the Skywrath coming down. They're going to get a few more kills left and right. 3 already dead. Both the Juggernaut, the Gse7en, as well as the Shadow Shaman are just falling one by one. The GG is called. Gse7en, they know there's simply no coming back. They can't win any of these team fights. And we'll see MSI take a pretty clean 2-0 over Gse7en.
Indeed, it's just really well done. I mean, first game was pretty even. I want to say MSI just staging a nice comeback there, holding on and turning it around with a couple of good team fights. And, well, at least, I mean, Gse7en, they showed us they can play really damn well against the Wake. In game number 1 here as well. Just nice execution early on, but for all of those teams, the hardest they must be tomorrow. All of those teams have 1 game, and all of them will play against Titan.
Yeah, well, I have to say I'm pretty exhausted after this casting marathon that we had. It's getting pretty late for me here as well, over in Korea, but excellent cast, had a lot of fun, Couchshore. Congratulations to MSI once again for winning. Gse7en, they did probably show the most entertaining games of the night though, so I will you know, give them a nod for that, of course. And I do want to see more of these guys in the future, especially with their fantastic aggressive Meepo and Tusk play. I want more of that across the board, not just from Gse7en.
Yeah, me too. I completely have to agree. Just great showing by them, good fun, and well, MSI just solid plays for them as well. Looking good at the moment to advance actually into the playoffs. 1 tie, 1 win, so all good for them. But guys, this is gonna conclude it for us for the time being. There will be more Dota on HeflaTV 2. At the moment, it's X Game versus Power Rangers. Later on, gonna be European Love Story versus Balkan Bears, I do believe. So I thank you once again, guys. Gratitude for just tuning in, watching us, supporting not only us but also the MPGL, and of course thanks to their sponsors as well. Gigabyte, the main sponsor for them, Steel Series as well. So shout out to them, and of course, thanks Whiplash for casting with me. Where can people find you?
Well, you guys, if you like the casting, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would follow me on Twitter. I'm twitter.com/yeah, YEAH, Whiplash, or if you're a fan of Facebook, I have a fan page over there where I also post if I'm ever doing any casting, and that is Whiplash Esports. Thanks once again for everybody that tuned in and enjoyed the casting. You can also give me criticism if you felt that I could improve on something. But what about you, Couchshore? Where can they find you?
At HeflaTV on everything, man. Well, it is at Couchshore for my personal self as well. I rarely visit it because Twitter is a foreign beast to me. But I still try to just go there every now and then. But yes, guys, just be sure to follow HeflaTV first and foremost, because we're just putting so much effort trying to get the name out there, trying to actually possibly in the future make it into a proper organization, a casting label. But guys, this will conclude it for us. Follow us anywhere you want if you want more updates from us. The links, all you will need, are below the stream on Twitch as it is. So just a few songs now to finish up the stream.